Hello, my name is Wayne Alexander, and today we're going to take a look at how we can create reports using out-the-box functionality within CRM 2013. I'm going to be using the web version to show you this, but I can confirm it's exactly the same process in the Outlook version. Now, one thing that reports rely on is advanced firing. So there's a certain expectation that you would know how to create queries in advanced firing before creating a report, and this is the same expectation that we're going to have for this video. So first thing I'm going to do is navigate over to the report area of CRM. So I'm in the sales section. In 2011 it was in my work, but in 2013 within the sales section we'll just navigate across the tiles here till we get to tools, and there we have reports. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the report tile, and as always it will take us to the report area of CRM. Okay, so these when your system gets provisioned, by default the system would create standard reports for you, but we're going to go ahead and create a new one. So I'm just going to click on the new button in the CRM ribbon. Now, like CRM4 and like 2011, we're going to use the report wizard tool in order to create this report. This is what this video is for today. It's creating reports using the report wizard tool, out of the box functionality. You can, however, create reports outside of CRM and save them as an XML file and import them into the CRM system. So you're not limited to only creating reports from within CRM. So we've opened up a new report. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and click on the report wizard. And what happens is when you click on the report wizard, it's going to guide you through a few steps that you would have to do in order to actually create your report. First thing the system's going to ask you for is the name of your report, and also what entity the report is going to be based on. Just wait for that to load through. So I'm going to start from a new report. If I choose to, I could have started from an existing one, but I'm going to start from a new, and I'm just going to go ahead and click next. Okay, and now the system's asking for a report name. Now, this report that we're going to do, we want to look at all contacts that have been created in this system within the last week. So what I'm going to do is give the report a very descriptive name. So I'm going to say contacts created within the last week. I could put a description of my report here too, but I try and keep my report names as descriptive as possible. So really it says all what needs to be described within the report name. And now we have to select the primary record type, and I'm going to go ahead and select contacts because the report is going to be based on contacts. So I'm just going to go ahead and select contacts there. Now the related record type is based on the primary record type. So in other words, by selecting by selecting a related record type, what it means is when we're doing our query, we could base our query on the related record type as well. But we're not going to pick a related record type for this particular report, so I'm just going to go ahead and click next. So we've put in the name of the report, and we've put in what entity we're going to use this report on. And the next phase of the report is actually creating the criteria. What contacts will fall into this particular report? And this goes back to what I was saying with in the beginning, with a certain expectation that you would know advanced find. Why? Because it uses advanced find within these reports. So first thing I'm going to do is clear my current query. Click on the select, and as always I only want to see active contacts in this report, so I'm going to go down my list. First things first, status equals to active. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And not sure if you're aware, but there's actually a field within every record called created on, and this field records a date and time that a particular record was created. So I'm going to go and click on the select again, and this time I'm going to go down my list until I find created on. Oops, there it is, created on. I'm going to change the option from on to last week. And I'm going to go ahead and click next. That's all the criteria I need. So once you put in a name, once you select the entity, and once you put in the criteria, the last thing your system really needs you to do is to put in the display columns that you want to see. Now the great thing about reports, what reports can do, what advanced find can't do, is reports can group the information together. So you can display your criteria, your data by groups. So as an example here, if I want to see contacts created last week, I could group them by the owner of the record. So if I was to click here to add grouping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the system, actually, I want you to display the list of contacts for me, but what I want you to do is to put Wayne Alexander and then all the records that he created, then John Smith and all of the records he created. So I'm going to tell the system to group by the contacts owner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a summary type of count, and a summary type of count simply means it will say Wayne Alexander and in brackets how many records I created, then it will list those records for me, those contacts I should say. So I can group by owner. You can have a subgroup and another subgroup if you wish, but we're just going to group by owner. Then we simply click on each of these column headers to add the fields that we want to add to our report. So first one I'm going to add is full name. I could make the column width big if I wanted to 150, think I will, and click OK. And it's just literally a case of adding as many columns as you like. Try not to add too many columns, as you just don't want to pack your report with too much data, but I'm just going to add a few columns there. So maybe I want the contact's email address. Click OK. Maybe I also want the contact's phone number. So if I go through business phone, fantastic. Again, click OK. And last but not least, maybe I want the company that they work for. So I'll go down my list until I find that company field, company name. Go and click OK. One thing I should mention, when you're creating reports, you can create charts with reports, and what happens is when you're using the report wizard, if you add a number column, if you add a column, a data column that is for numbers, then the system would automatically allow you to create charts. So I'm just going to go ahead and click here to add one more time. I'm going to go through my list until I find a number field, and they put their credit limit. And when you click on the summary type, first of all, you'll notice the summary type changes. So when numbers are involved as a data field, you can do clever things like the report can work out a sum for you. So in other words, for example, Wayne Alexander, he's got 6 contacts he created last week. The system would group by Wayne Alexander. It will say 6 contacts. It will list the 6 contacts. And if I was to choose sum, then it will show a sum of all of the contacts' credit limits added together. Or you could do average, maximum, minimum, or percentage of total. I'm going to leave it on sum. Not sure if there's any data there. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Once we finish adding our columns, by the way, if you don't like the order, you can using the arrows move them from left to right. I'm going to go ahead and hit next, and there's not much more steps in the report creation now. By default, the system will show you table only. Now there we have chart and table. The only reason why I can select chart and table is because I added a numerical data column to my report. So I'm going to create a chart and table just to show you what the chart looks like, or how you create a chart within a report. I'm going to show them on a different page. So I could have showed the table and chart on the same page, or showed chart on a different page, on a region. I'm going to go ahead and click next. I could choose my different type of chart I want to create. I'm going to go with a pie. Click next again. And what the system does is it automatically adds the data values of this pie for you. Owner, why? Because it's grouped by owner, and sum of credit limit has to be the sum of credit limit because that's the only numerical data column that we added. I'm going to go ahead and click next again. Next one more time. And finally, we'll just click finish. And it really is just that simple to create a report. What happens is the system takes you back to the original screen that you had before, but the difference is you'll notice that the name is populated for you, the related record type, where the report gets displayed. So it gets displayed in the report area, it gets displayed within the contact record, and within the list of contact records as well. And the language is English. Now, if I wanted to, I can go ahead and click on run and then run that report. I'm not sure how much data it's going to actually show me for this particular report. But what the system will do is it will just list that data and run it off in a report format. Reports in CRM are very much like advanced filing in the sense that they're dynamic. So every time you run this report, the reason why it takes long to load it is because what the report is doing is it's running through the queries and then searching the database based on those particular queries. So we're just going to wait a couple more seconds for the reports to go through. It's processing the request now. As I said, not entirely sure as to what data will be displayed, but as you can see going through this video, it was actually very straightforward to create the report, especially when we use the report wizard. All the report wizard would ever ask you to do is put in the report name, the entity type, the query, and then the columns that you want to display. So the report's just running that through now. And typically for this example, unfortunately, I didn't have any that fit that particular criteria. No matter, the process is still exactly the same. So by creating these reports using the report wizard, as I said to you before, the system will create that report for you and it will sit within the report area of CRM. There it is, contacts created within the last week. And it would also sit within the contact area, or you can run it directly from within a contact record. Thank you.